These are some very easy high-level website effects that you can use today to instantly transform your website and impress your clients. Starting off with the first effect, which is called Zoom In and Text Reveal on Hover. So the first thing you need in order to implement this effect is, of course, a one-column row, and inside it just add a code element. Inside a code element, you need to add this HTML and also this JavaScript. Of course, you can pause the screen and copy the exact code, or if you have my Notion doc, you can copy the code from the tutorial which is called Zoom In and Text Reveal on Hover. And if you don't have my Notion doc, you can check it out in the first link in the description. After you copied both the HTML and the JavaScript into that custom code element, you just need to replace this image source here with one of your images. And in order to do that, you just go into the media storage and select an image of your choosing. For example, this one. We click on this button and get link. Then you just replace it in here. After you do that, we need to also add custom CSS, which is this one right here. Again, I'll go slowly so you can pause the video and copy it, or again, you can get it from my Notion doc. Then we click save, and that's basically the effect done. If we want multiple cards, we just duplicate the column and also the row. And this way we will have 4 images, just like this. Ideally, you would have different images, you would adjust the paddings so everything looks clean and nice, and when you hover over any of the images, we have this zoom effect plus an overlay with the text appears, and we get informations about that particular product or service or whatever it is we want to display within these cards. The next effect is again another very easy to implement one. We just create a one column row, and on this specific column we go to styles and add the class slide reveal card. And then all we need to do is go into the custom CSS and add this code. Again, let's start from the beginning so you can check it out, pause the video again and copy it if you want, or again, you can get it from my Notion doc, first link in the description. Then we click save and we just added our card. Of course, we need to also add a background for our card, so let's quickly do that. Let's use the same full center, and again we can duplicate it a couple of times, and of course just add some margins, some paddings so everything looks cleaner. But the core effect is here, as you can see when we start hovering any of the cards. And of course in this panel right here you can add headlines, you can add paragraphs, and of course buttons. And if your elements overflow from this container, you can just go into the custom CSS and adjust this height right here. For example, let's add 400. After you do that, you also need to play a bit with these translate dimensions right here. Otherwise, it will look something like this. As you can see, we have everything showing, but then the animation is not that nice. So you need to play with these dimensions. For example, this one right here, instead of 5 rem, we can put it 20 rem because the dimension is pretty big. And as you can see, we have the card and then it disappears completely. So this is exactly how you can integrate all your elements in this little space. Of course, the better looking effect is the one with the smaller card, so you can actually see the background. And with some margins and paddings added, it can look just like this. When you hover, the text card gets out of the image frame and appears on top with a little shadow, and then when you stop hovering, then the card goes back into the frame just like an envelope. And I think this effect is a really cool one if you want to have some interactive cards on your website. This next effect is another very cool one and very easy to implement. So we just add a column element and inside it, let's just add an image. Then on the image or on the column, we go to styles and add this custom class called gallery item. And on the section, we can add gallery wrapper. Then we just duplicate the columns, how many times we want, for example, 4 times. And then all we need to do is just add this CSS. This effect, by the way, is called interactive image gallery zoom filter and shadow. And it looks just like this one. And I'll show you in just a second what variant you can use. So we go into the custom CSS and we paste this effect here. And when you start hovering your elements, as you can see, the hovered one appears in front with a shadow and the zoom in, but all the others become blurred. And as you can see, it has a little border, and that's because of the paddings from both the image, these ones, and also from the column. But of course, if you don't want to have this border, just remove the gallery item from the column and apply it to the image directly. And this way you won't have any borders. And it's also much easier to edit in the website builder because the effect, as you can see, is not applied on the images when you are in the website builder, but you can only preview it when you actually open up the website. But this effect is really cool because you can add multiple filters to your cards, such as the blur that you just saw, or you can use this one right here, which adds a grayscale, and you just replace this variable right here, click save, and this one looks like this. And of course, there are multiple different effects like the sepia, or you can change the brightness, the opacity, or you can even combine them. This effect I just added recently, and it's called Fluid Sentence with Rotating Text Effect, and it's one of my favorite effects, and I'm also using it consistently for my client's website. And it's also very, very easy to implement. All you need to do is just get the HTML, copy it, create a code element just like this, and inside it paste the HTML, and then you need the JavaScript. It's very, very easy. Once again, let's click save. Let's also add black color to this one just because. And let's also add a headline, and let's have this headline white so it's easier. Here, let's make it, let's say 100. Perfect. And then all we need to do is just add some CSS. Again, very big CSS in here. We click save and let's preview it. Very, very simple effect implementation here. And this is how it looks. It cycles through different sentences while adjusting its width dynamically based on the content. So the whole section always stays center, which is really, really cool. And of course, those two fonts don't match, but you can just go into the CSS and change it from here, from Montserrat or whatever it is, your font, right? And also the font weight and the font size. As you can see, it's a bit more interesting because it's a combination of 3 font sizes. The preferred size is 5% of the view width. So this is a responsive font size, but it cannot go under 18 pixels or above 60 pixels. So this is basically a fluid text. Really, really cool CSS trick if you want to use it. And of course, from here, you just change the color. And if you want to change the sentences, you just go in here. This one, static, of course, is the one that doesn't change. And those are the ones that do change. Now, another really, really interesting effect that I'm sure will impress your clients is this very easy image fill text mask. And as you can see from the demo, it just adds an image mask over your text. So let's create it. First, we need a 1-column row element, and inside here, let's add this text. Let's go up to 100, and let's also add the custom class called image text. And let's say we want this part here to be bolded. So this one right here will contain the image mask. Now, all we need to do is just paste some CSS. And we need again to replace this image right here. So let me do that. And as you can see, we have a really cool image mask over our title. Now this Notion document right here contains tens and tens and tens of such cool effects, plus a couple of them that are really advanced and that will really transform your Go High Level website into a premium one, plus some CSS and JavaScript tutorials that will further enhance your custom effects in order to take your Go High Level website to the next level. So if you are curious to get this Notion doc, just click the first link in the description. And if you are curious to see exactly how I build expensive looking Go High Level websites very fast in 2026, then watch this video right here.